Welcome back, everyone, to the 2014 Quad City Chaos. You are watching Montreal Roller Derby take on Toronto Roller Derby, the final game of the first day of the Quad City Chaos. I'm the Derby Nerd here with Single Malt. Scott, thank you for watching. We'd like to take this opportunity before things get underway here to thank our Tord TV crew. Of course, our director, Honey Boom Boom, our producer, Layer 9, Mr. Force. And on the camera crew right now, we've got Titmouse, Lowblow Palooza, Demolition Dawn, Wheels of Misfortune is on the text cast. Yeah, again, thank you for tuning in, and what a game you have tuned into.
After blowout this morning, really something that everyone was really hungry for, a nice, tight, exciting back-and-forth bout.
But unfortunately, things getting off to a rocky start here for Toronto with the full penalty box, including a jammer. And Bruceberry Pie, though, all alone, took out Meliwana single-handedly, and that bought enough time to at least get another blocker. So nice job there from Bruceberry Pie, but Toronto off to a slow start, got things going about midway through that half, and it's been pretty even ever since.
Meliwana muscles her way through, picks up 5 points. Surgical strike called for an out of play. That sends her to the box.
Jubilee coming out of the penalty box to put even up the packs now, 3-3. 5 more points, though, for Meliwana. And here comes the Tord Jammer. Ballerina back on the track. Meliwana coming around on another scoring pass. Ballerina having a hard time with Jess Bandit. Finally finds an outside lane. Meliwana sneaks through on the inside. Ballerina comes through, and
Meliwana sent to the penalty box. That is a forearm penalty.
Wow, once again, every time one of these teams' jammers gets a penalty, it seems like the other one evens it up. And now Ballerina picking up points, and with no lead jammer, this is going to go the full minute. There's 40 seconds, or full 2 minutes is 40 seconds left. Here comes Ballerina again. Jubilee coming in to work some offense. Hoser with a nice little pick. 5 more points. Jubilee's really become a strong offensive skater for Toronto. She's a long-time Tord veteran, has been here since the start. Speaking of long-time veterans, Jess Bandit holding up Ballerina. Oh, and a nice little move by Ballerina, taking the outside, picking up 5 more points, and I believe
it is a 2-point game now.
2-point game. Ballerina picks up a few. How many points did she pick up? 4 points.
But 2 more points for Montreal, and it is all tied up at 113.
Wow, Meliwana picked up 2 points before she went to the penalty box. They were just put onto the board now. Wow, tie game. 2.5 minutes into the second half. Meliwana is standing. Little Mama in the box.
Motorhead Molly on the jam line, forcing in power. Looking to take the first lead for Toronto. Has a good opportunity here.
And Molly is so good at skirting that line, and she does it there on her tiptoes, gets through, lead jammer Toronto. Full pack as Meliwana re-enters the pack, trying to push Rennie Rumble and Scarcasm out of the way. And Bruceberry Pie being sent off for the penalty as Meliwana breaks through the pack. Motorhead Molly, stays in bounds, goes through on the inside, picks up 4 points. We do have our lead change. First lead change of the game.
Oh, the fans see those points go up on the board.
This is the first time, I believe, that CN Power has ever been leading in a game against Montreal's new Skids on the block. An unbelievable moment. Oh, no, sorry, last year at the Beast of the East, I believe there were moments in the first half. Could be.
It's been so long.
Twitterverse, tell us, talk to QCC. Is this the first time Toronto has ever been leading against Montreal?
Miracle Whip's jamming for Montreal. Squeezes her way through on the first straightaway. She's the lead jammer.
Miracle Whip's huge game for Montreal. And look at this drag back so fast. Phenomenal level of roller derby Miracle Whips. Running into Dinah Herchik, going out of bounds. Nice quick re-entry though. Now Ballerina trying to fight through, but it's a 4-2 pack advantage for the Skids, and they are taking advantage of that. Surgical strike with a big hit out.
Whips picks up 5 points on that last scoring pass to retake the lead for Montreal.
Have another drink, another lead change. As the announcers sip water. Ballerina now 1 to beat. It's Jess Bandit though, and Surgical Strike is coming in to add to that wall. And out of play, have to let her go. Ballerina finally through this pack, but here comes Miracle Whips. Picking up another 4 points. Montreal back in front now by 10 points. Honey Badger out there against Motorhead Molly. 2 in the penalty box for Toronto. Bruceberry Pie, though, is standing. Pantyhoser sitting in the seat. Motorhead Molly now facing a Skids wall at the back. Honey Badger with a nice little juke. Rennie Rumble trying to hold her back. Honey Badger picks up the second straight lead jammer now for Montreal. Motorhead Molly, who's had a lot of success this game, able to break through. Honey Badger comes in hard into that wall, breaks through.
It looks like Montreal's made some changes to their defensive pairings in the half.
Yeah.
Demanda Lashing, who was playing a lot with Surgical Strike and Just Bandit, now playing with Smack Daddy, Chasing Amy.
Perhaps trying to find a little balance to their lines. And Motorhead Molly doing a good job to stay in bounds once again. Demanda Lashing setting up in a nice positional block. Molly sneaks through, picks up points. And Honey Badger calls it off. 15 points now is the lead. Skids slowly pulling away again, and timeout being called for Toronto. 6 minutes in, Scott. Unbelievable. And no one's currently sitting in the Sugar Bomb penalty box. That's good.
2 lead changes already in the first 6 minutes of this second period.
And Sparkles Bolts again trying to get the crowd pumped up, throwing away some free Toronto Roller Derby merch. Good crowd here. This is a record crowd for the Quad City Chaos. The biggest crowd we've ever had for this tournament. And it is a loud, appreciative, smart Derby crowd here tonight.
The action on the track is paying them back for coming in.
Yes, that's right. Okay, the time out coming to its conclusion. Skaters back on the track. It's 5-on-5 roller derby. Final game of day 1, the Quad City Chaos. Skids holding the back line. Toronto in front, Ballerina in pink for Toronto. Greta Bobo for the Skids. Bobo with a little hit on Ballerina right off the start. Ballerina sees a line on the outside. It's very quickly closed. Neither jammer able to make up much space here.
Bobo looks for a little room, finds it on the inside of turn number 2. She's the lead jammer.
Ballerina still having a hard time at the back of that pack. Greta Bobo coming up to score now. Aims to kill. Couldn't hold her. Pantyhoser was playing offense. Didn't see the jammer slip through beside her. Finally, though, Ballerina maybe getting out. Cheese Grater has to let her go.
The strike looks like she was lucky to get away with that late hit. Way out in front of the pack.
Greta Bobo calls it off after picking up 2. 21 points now, or 23 points, the lead for Montreal.
Back and forth action.
Yes. Toronto had taken the momentum, and Montreal is slowly trying to claw it back here. Toronto only has 1 timeout left. Both teams each have their official review for this half. New Skids on the block have yet to take a timeout. Jammers are off. Motorhead Molly going with Motorhead Molly a lot. Has had a lot of success this game, but Meliwana once again is through. Another lead jammer picked up, but right behind her is Motorhead Molly. All the Skids at the back of the pack. Good defensive position for... Oh, and a nice big hit, forcing the call off Rennie Rumble.
No points scored by either team, signaled by the referees. Again, Montreal really trusting the jammer, their blockers to stop the Toronto jammer.
Yeah, because Toronto had a nice defensive position in the front there.
We saw a lot of that early in the first half, and then the penalties kind of made things a little more chaotic. But
yes. It was not worth the risk once the game became so close. Now Miracle Whip's back out there against the veteran Dusty. Dusty saw an outside lane, but it got closed up by Little Mama. Miracle Whips, who has been absolutely phenomenal, again with another lead. Oh, another cut, though. And maybe that's the inexperience showing through.
She is also sent to the penalty box for a clockwise block.
Yeah. Another opportunity here for Toronto. Every time they seem down, they keep coming back. But yeah, maybe that's just the last refinement that Miracle Whips needs, right? Being that aware of where she is all the time on the track, and that just comes with game experience.
Just in terms of number of bouts.
Yeah. Hours on the track.
Has not played nearly as many as most of the players on either team.
That's right.
Both teams on the very experienced skaters present on both teams.
Yeah, long history at every level, house league, B team, travel team between these two leagues. Friends off the track, definitely foes on it. Dusty stays in bounds and picks up the 5 points.
Several of them teammates for Team Canada.
That's right.
And know each other really well and have played against each other or with each other dozens of times over the years.
But this is the first time, really, that we've really seen a competitive matchup between these two teams at this highest of levels. Miracle Whip's back on the track. Nice job by Montreal to limit the damage. Now Miracle Whip's getting defensive on Dust Bunny. Talking to the refs. Dusty calls it off. And once again, 8 points is the difference. Honey Badger out there against Ballerina. Big pack advantage for the Skids.
Two skaters in the penalty box for CN Power.
Jubilee and Pantyhoser. Both former Death Track dolls in Toronto Roller Derby's House League. Ballerina now and Honey Badger working at the back of the pack. Candy Crossbones, nice little hit, working well with Rennie Rumble as the only two blockers on the track for Toronto. Working together so well that Ballerina now has pushed the defensive wall of Montreal to the front. But that is...
Chasing Amy, working really hard to knock her out of bounds.
Rennie Rumble able to push Honey Badger, but Honey Badger stays in bounds, and she's your lead jammer. Ballerina finally able to sneak through, but Badger's coming up to score.
I don't know if it's...
Oh, and a big hit from Pantyhoser.
That sends her back to the penalty box. That's her fourth trip there. I don't know if it's visible completely on the feed, but for those of you watching at home, the tape rope marker of this track is not very large. It's, as far as tracks go, it's a tiny little bump that lets you know that you've gone out of bounds. I've seen thicker ropes used, so really, really high level of skill we've seen in both teams, their jammers staying in bounds on their toe stops.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's been a few jammer cuts, but a lot of them have been like forearms and back blocks.
We saw a lot in that last jam of jammers just dancing around on their toe stops to avoid that cut. And they're not getting any help from the tape to stay in bounds there.
And once again, UN One Army telling Greta Bobo, who is your lead jammer, to keep going. They're going to trust in their defensive walls. And with only two Toronto skaters on the track, that might be a good call, and Bobo does get through. Oh, and Motorhead Molly gets hit to the inside. Cheese Grater's going to drag her way back.
Bobo's waved on again. Laps the jammer. Surgical strike knocks her to the inside and recycles her again to the back of the pack.
So again, a nice, well-calculated risk by the Skids bench to keep this jam going. Dinah Hercha with a nice hit. And she's getting called with the high block. I think her arm came up and hit Greta Bobo. Molly's through, both teams picking up points, but with only two blockers on the track, one blocker on the track for Toronto.
Surgical strike with a big hit.
And she's being sent to the box, though. So Molly able to come in front of her. And that jam ends. Not much change to the score as both jammers were scoring freely.
19 points separating the two teams.
17 minutes to go. Equal penalties right now, 2-2. Surgical strike and cheese grater. Dinah Hercha and Jubilee from right to left. 2-2 on the track. Ballerina against Meliwana. These guys have not been matched up much tonight. And Mel with a nice little outside-in move to get lead jammer. Ballerina, though, is chasing Amy to beat. She will do it. She's got a lot of track to make up. Once again, the Skids electing to allow their blockers to go.
So one thing I noticed on that last pass, the Skids blockers were taking the outside of that turn, holding that position, knowing that the track is a little bit slippy and that the jammers are going to have to take that line as they come through that turn at that speed.
Yeah.
Letting their jammer through and then sliding out to the outside.
Very smart. And not only that, I saw them actually indicate, Smack Daddy, I believe, indicating to her jammer to take that line, or that was going to be open. Yeah. Again, speaking to the high level of play that is on display on this track right now.
Jamming from Montreal,
Hey.
Georgia W. Tush.
Throwback Saturday. Georgia W. Tush, number 40, veteran skater, founder of Montreal roller derby against Dusty.
She's taking Miracle Whips' spot in the jam rotation right now.
Yeah.
It was Bobo, Mel. Whips would be due back up, but...
Oh, and Dusty picking up a track cut. Power jam for the Skids. A nice defense, though, once again. Dragging Georgia W. Tush back. Georgia with a nice re-entry. Oh, and Dinah Hercha with a big last line of defense hit. Nice defense again from Toronto, but Georgia W. Tush does get through and gets her 5. Tush now sizing things up, takes a look, slows up, waits for some help. Dinah Hercha with some nice defense. Again, nice job from Toronto, just holding back the jammer. Tush appealing for a call from the refs. Smack Daddy back on the track, her penalty over.
Tush gets knocked inside, has to double back to avoid the cut.
And she calls it off. Oh, and Georgia W. Tush can't call it off because she's picking up a forearm. Once again, when one team's jammer gets a penalty, the other team, it's almost like, let's keep this fair. Trade off our jammer penalties.
Montreal stretches the lead to 28 and gives up a power jam. 24 seconds left in this jam.
Dusty takes a big hit from Smack Daddy, but Smack Daddy's going to head to the box from that chasing, or Jess Bandit, sorry, last line of defense. Dusty gets around her, through. She may now begin scoring. Demand a lashing surgical strike, and Jess Bandit setting the defense at the front of that pack. Jubilee comes in with a nice little offensive sweep, but a big hit from Jess Bandit, the wily veteran. And Dusty calls that off.
2 minutes up on that one. Referees adding 4 points for either team at the end of the jam.
179 to 151 remains the score. 13 minutes to go. There is your penalty situation. Smack Daddy and Georgia W. Tush in the box. Dinah Hercha. Speaking of Team Canada, we're looking at the core of it right there. Motorhead Molly with a nice quick move on the outside is your lead jammer.
Cheese grater chasing Amy Mangemal-Kulu, the blockers for Montreal.
A nice hit from Scarcasm to open up a lane. Chasing Amy with some nice chest-to-chest defense. Mangemal-Kulu getting involved, but again, dancing that line. No one on Toronto dances it better than Motorhead Molly. Georgia W. Tush back on the track. Motorhead Molly just slips in front of her. Molly again dancing on that line. Finally, though, getting knocked in by chasing Amy.
Amy's able to draw a track cut on her. Motorhead Molly sent to the box.
Oh, and there it is. Another penalty now Oh, and Dinah Hercha being sent back to the box too. Her penalties must be adding up.
Trying to take a look at the board. Dinah Hercha with 5 on the penalty board.
That could be a story as this game goes on. Runny Rumble with a big hit on Georgia W. Tush, but she's able to stay in bounds. Destruction of pack being called now on Montreal.
That's Chasing Amy going to the box to serve that one as Georgia W. Tush picks up another 5. Track is really empty now. Multiplayer block called.
And pack penalty troubles, big problems here for Toronto. And it is the difference right now.
Montreal's lead now standing at 33.
It's the biggest lead they've had in quite a while. Georgia W. Tush knocked to the outside. Calmly comes back at the back of the pack. Sizes up the 2-wall, tries to go between. Scarchasm with a hit, can't quite push out of bounds. Calls it off just as Molly leaves the box. Big lead reestablished here now for the new Skids on the block. 33 points. 11 minutes to go. Official review being called. What do you think, Scott? Any speculation on what it may be? This review, as all timeouts, are brought to you by Jackson Skates. We'd like to thank Jackson Skates for their support. I just actually got an inside scoop that I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I heard that Jackson Skates may get into the skater sponsoring business.
How come none of these sponsors ever really get into the announcer sponsoring business?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyone want to sponsor the Derby Nerd?
Like, I will wear spandex. It's not just Patrick from Montreal that looks fabulous.
In spandex, really?
Well,
I don't think anyone wants.
No, fabulous would not be the word
Yeah,
I would choose
yeah.
for me in spandex.
I was going to say.
Shocking.
Shocking.
Shocking is what I would go for.
Hey, there's a nice little beer mid being grown, especially since we didn't start serving beer here until the evening doubleheader. CN Power chant beginning here in the bunker, trying to cheer on the home team. They made the comeback in the first period from down by about a similar score. Can they do it again here?
The official review is over. That was Toronto's official review.
The way that Wade Wilson just went and talked to Motorhead Molly, I'm going to assume it was on her cut. I think Molly believed that she straddled. That's what I'm going to guess. And we're going to get some confirmation here.
The official review is over. The jammers are back on the track. It's Ballerina and Honey Badger jamming right now.
And just to confirm, that was indeed the official review. They're saying that Motorhead Molly did not actually, both feet did not actually leave the track. It was overruled by the referees. Nice little bridge back by Montreal's new Skids on the blocking, allowing Honey Badger to push Candy Crossbones out of play and take lead jammer. But Ballerina does get through. Honey Badger now coming up to score. Tries to find a hole between the two, gets held up by Candy Crossbones, the pivot. Ballerina sneaking in, and once again, we're seeing the Skids just play the clock, keep this jam going. And they did that when they picked up about a 30-point lead in the first half as well.
Chasing Amy, Little Mama, the last defense, get too far out in front of the pack, have to let her go.
Badger, both jammers picking up points. Badger's going to come around and keep it going, getting the okay from her bench. CN Power set up at the back. Skids at the front. Oh.
Clockwise to block.
No, and that penalty allows Honey Badger through. Ballerina takes a big hit from Little Mama down onto the track.
The calling of that penalty seemed to freeze CN Power in their tracks for a second as they watched what happened.
Yeah. Ballerina doing a good job to stay in bounds as she took another hit. Finally getting through the pack, picking up 4 more points, but Badger also continuing to score. And now she's going to call it off.
An odd strategy, not one I would have expected to see, but it seems to be working out for Montreal.
48 points now is the lead. It's maybe the largest lead of this game so far. Sarcasm and aims to kill the two CN Power rookies in the penalty box right now. Dinah Hercha back on the jam line for CN Power, seeing if they can get something going with a new look on the offense out there against Greta Bobo. And Bobo through as your lead jammer, but Dinah Hercha behind her about 40 feet to make up. Bobo takes a look, sees the two. Both jammers in and scoring. Greta Bobo getting hit to the inside by Bruceberry Pie, allowing Dinah Hercha some room to move to the outside. Gets by Mange Mwalku, gets a big hit taken from Smack Daddy. Smack Daddy being sent to the box. Dinah Hercha through, picking up points as well. This is very smart.
Smack Daddy getting called 2 minutes on that insubordination added to her penalty. She said something to the outside referee as on her way to the box, and he did not like it.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, so the Skids really being smart here in working that clock because they do have a fairly substantial lead, at least in this game. 40 points seems substantial, and they're doing a really nice job of killing that clock.
An official timeout is called. That gives us a chance to thank our sponsors that are bringing this incredible action to you. Sponsors like Jack in the Socks. It doesn't matter whether your socks match or not. At Jack in the Socks, their mission is to banish plain, boring socks from sock drawers everywhere. Check them out at jackinthesocks.ca. They have a pair of socks. Larry Bird shooting a three-pointer in the early 80s. I've got to go and order those as soon as I get home.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Also like to thank Nerd Roller Skates. They are putting on a little bit of a competition right now. If you send them a tweet with hashtag QuadCityChaos, they'll enter you in a draw to win a $50 gift card. So that is from nerdskates.com. So tweet to @nerdskates, hashtag QuadCityChaos.
Also like to thank the Rumbling Rage Derby Shop. They are a Canadian roller derby-owned company based in Barrie, Ontario. Their mission is to provide you with accessible, high-quality products to play roller derby. They have a website too, rumblingrage.com.
All right, it looks like the officials are officiating things, trying to work things out here. 40 points is the lead.
So it looks like the official timeout had to do with a trackside accident, spill in turn 2, so they got to mop up the track.
Yes.
Looks like a pyramid went wrong. Yeah, there's the pyramid. It's gone. Yeah.
Pyramid gone wrong.
Their cans were confiscated.
Taking a look at the crowd. Nice crowd here at the QCC. Nearly a full house. Bleachers are full. All right, and we're back to some roller derby now. Spill is cleaned up. 7 minutes to go. Montreal in control right now. Motorhead Molly out there to jam against Meliwana. Jammers are released. Meliwana pushes her way through that wall. Motorhead Molly, though, able to sneak through.
Molly is the lead jammer.
She's your lead jammer. Meliwana, though, is also through. A big pack advantage right now for Toronto, 4-2, as Motorhead Molly comes in to score, gets through, gets her points, calls it off. Back on the board for Toronto. And finally, we're seeing Miracle Whips. It's been a while. I wonder if I picked up one too many jammer penalties. And going out there against Dinah Hercha, this should be an interesting matchup. Two similar style skaters.
I think Whips needed a minute or two to collect her thoughts.
Yes.
And
as you mentioned, this is the first time she's really played a game at this intense a level.
collect her thought she did.
And collect her shot thought she did, going through on the outside to take lead jammer. Nice front wall again. Simple work from the Skids, holding Dinah Hercha in.
Whips makes it through. That's a grand slam. 5 points.
And Dinah Hercha finally through now. 2-2 in the pack. Penalty box is full in terms of blockers as Meliwana comes around. Another scoring pass, makes a nice little move. Miracle Whips gets around. Jubes couldn't get around Rennie Rumble. And again, we're seeing Montreal just let this clock play out. Let both jammers score. They'll be happy to go equal every jam here through to the end.
Whips picks up 3 on that last scoring pass. Dinah picks up 4.
Oh, and Dinah Hercha with a nice move. Oh, and gets hit right in the back by Georgia W. Tush. No call, no impact. And again, yeah, Montreal just content to watch that clock go down and trade off points here. Finally getting called off.
We're sitting right behind the benches, and the Montreal coach, Ewan Wood-Army, just looks so calm,
Yes.
so collected, just watching the action happen. Yeah, just keep skating, go.
Yeah, both benches actually very calm. Wade Wheelson with a similar stance.
And outfit. Similar stance and outfit.
Similar stance and outfit, yes. And Gabe Astard running lines for Montreal, Sonic Doom for Toronto, CN Power. And lead jammer picked up for Toronto. That's an important one, Ballerina, but she's got a honey badger on her tail. It's going to have to be a quick hit it and quit it. Oh, both teams are going to score. Honey badger gets knocked out of bounds.
Badger squeezes her way through.
Both, and it looks like Toronto now taking something out of Montreal's playbook. I guess they got to wait for and hope for something to happen here, a power jam or something, as time runs out. Finally, Ballerina is going to call it off as she picks up 3 more points, waiting for confirmation 2 more for the Skids. .230 to 192, 38 points.
Dinah Hercha stays out there, just grabs the pivot penny.
Motorhead Molly on the line against Greta Bobo. Molly's had a really extraordinary game for Toronto. Strong performance against old rivals for Motorhead Molly. Oh, and Honey Badger gets through, but she's going to be called on a back block major, so power jam for Toronto. We have to think that this is their last opportunity. Last opportunity to mount any sort of comeback with only 3 minutes to go.
Greta Bobo sitting in the penalty box.
Although I've got to say, with the way the defense has been playing this game, I like that.
Amy backs her up all the way.
The cheese grater now with some aggressive hitting. Dinah Hercha comes in through for some offense.
Cheese gets sent off for a multiplayer block.
Molly's through for 5 points.
33 points the lead now.
Scarcasm coming out of the penalty box. This will give Toronto a full pack on this power jam. They're trying to make some noise, but Imange Malkou with a nice hit.
Georgia W. Tush sitting on her lap. They get spread out. They got to let her through. That's another 5 points. 28 points the lead now.
Another Skids blocker heading to the penalty box. Oh, a big hit from Rennie Rumble. Opens up that line. Motorhead Molly is through. She's going to go for another pass. It's now
23-point gap.
And Molly going right chest to chest with Mange. Mange hitting her. 5 more points for Motorhead Molly. We've got ourselves an 18-point game. And the crowd.
Molly blows a wheel. Catches her breath. Sizes up the Montreal pack. Cheese grater is back on the track.
Getting involved. And that jam is going to come to a conclusion. Power start for CN Power. And Ewan Wood-Army calling a timeout.
Greta Bobo has been in the box for a very long time.
Wonder if
Did
got an
she
extra
pick up
minute.
2 points?
2 minutes, I'm not sure. But
2 minutes, yeah.
interesting decision here by Montreal to call a timeout. I could see the Toronto bench talking. They wanted a timeout. They realized they only had one left, and Montreal did it for them.
Greta Bobo, looking at the penalty board, did pick up an insubordination penalty on that
wow,
last
she
one.
did. Interesting. So massive opportunity. 14 points is the difference.
2-minute power jam.
Now, why do you think Montreal called this timeout right now? Seems like such a strange decision. Sorry, I'm mesmerized right now by the score. I forgot we were broadcasting there for a minute. That is how exciting this action here is at the Quad City Chaos 2014. If you're a fan of Derby, if you're a fan of Canadian roller derby, this has got to be something spectacular, that's for sure. 14 points is the difference. Arguably the two top teams in our nation. I only say that because I'm sure Terminal City wants to be part of that discussion, and deservedly so. They'll get their shot at the Skids at ECDX this summer in Philadelphia. And of course, we get to watch this happen in 1 month's time, all over again, this time in Montreal.
It's a little home and home series.
That's right. Again, 1.5 minutes to go. Last game of the opening day of the 2014 Quad City Chaos. Greta Bobo picking up an untimely 2-minute penalty. But look at Jess Bandit with the great defense. Oh, and Demanda Lashing with a big hit. But Bala has been named the lead jammer.
Demanda Lashing blocked solidly, stopping her from backing up all the way.
And Jess Bandit's blocking may have just saved this game, and Surgical Strike now getting in on it too. Demanda Lashing with some phenomenal descents. Both teams putting it all on the track right now.
Greta Bobo has served her time. She's back on the track. She spins her way past Candy Crossbones.
But Ballerina is going to call it off.
Nope, she keeps it going and now calls it off.
Timeout should be called here by Toronto.
Greta Bobo picked up 3 points before she could call off the jam.
Again, a little confusion between Ballerina and the bench, not getting those signals crossed. Motorhead Molly going back out there. This will be the final jam of this game.
The clock is still running. Only a few seconds left in the bout. And there they go.
And this is it, the final jam of what has been a thrilling and astonishing game. Oh, and that's could be the game right there. Mela Iwana has been named lead jammer. It is hers now to call. All she has to do is play it clean. And there it is, that is the game. But wow, what a performance. Toronto's CN Power giving the Skids the greatest challenge they have ever faced in Canadian roller derby. 17 points is the difference. Unbelievable.
Just a fantastic game. The new Skids on the block are celebrating, and with good reason. They won a very challenging, very down to the wire bout here, and CN Power should be celebrating as well.
Yeah.
This bout is going to have the rest of the derby world talking about CN Power and what they were able to do tonight.
Yeah. There is, remember, there's a 12 space difference in the rankings between these two teams. Toronto 29th. They're going to pick up massive WFTDA ranking points after this performance, coming within 17 points of a team ranked 12 spaces ahead of them. So I know it's hard to take right now, I'm sure, for CN Power, but they blew away expectations in terms of their position. So a strong performance. But for now, Montreal's new Skids on the block remain our nation's top team, and they've done it here with a phenomenal defensive performance, some spectacular clutch jamming from the likes of Meliwana, miracle whips early on.
No opportunities left untaken by both teams.
By both teams. Seeing some phenomenal duos, as you mentioned as well, from Montreal, Jess Bandit and Surgical Strike. Absolutely devastating together out there. Strong performance by many individuals in this game. And like I said, we get to do it all again in 1 month, this time in Montreal.
And this is the kind of action that Quad City Chaos can bring to you. So
Yes.
it's not over.
It's not over.
This is the last bout of the day, but there's all kinds of action tomorrow.
That's right. And we will be back live on air at 11 a.m. tomorrow. We've got, you thought this was exciting? How about we do it all again tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. only with the B teams? And I can guarantee you it's going to be as exciting a game as this. These two teams, the Bay Street Bruisers and the Montreal Sexpos, faced each other in August, and it was a thriller. It was a stunner, and I expect nothing less than that tomorrow morning at 11 as well.
I'm done. I'm spent.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
It's been a long day.
Watch that bout.
Well, we are done, actually. We are done for the day. So congratulations, viewers. Thanks for sticking with us. It's been a long one, but it's been an excellent one, and this was just the icing on a cake on a fantastic opening day. As I said, we'll be back tomorrow here at 11 a.m. However you've tuned in, Derby News Network, Canuck Derby TV, or layer9.ca, please do so again tomorrow. For Single Malt Scott, for the rest of the Tord TV crew, I'm the Derby Nerd. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.